Hey you all, Muscle Hi to fellow dressmakers. You're welcome to another interesting tutorial. I'm Confidence. In this video, we'll be learning how to make this gorgeous fit and flare dress that features a shoulder princess bustier, an extended shoulder or a kimono sleeve, a beautiful design cutout on the front, a basque waistline, and a gathered skirt. So if you're interested in learning how to go about the cutting and stitching of this gorgeous dress, then kindly watch this video to the very end and let's get straight into it. Starting with the front pattern, the starting point line will serve as the shoulder line, then I have the bust point line, the under bust line, and then the waistline. We'll just be drafting a shoulder princess bustier before we go to the next step. That's like we transform that to give us the side that you're working with. So on the shoulder line, I will mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2 and go down to the chest line and mark it out this way. Once that is done, I'm going to mark my neck width of 3 inches and then I'll be going down here to 3.5 for the neck depth. Now I'm going to use this curve to give it a round neckline. Next, I'll be coming down here to 1.5 to slope the shoulder and connect it to the neck width. Then I'll be coming up here to 3.25 and on that point I'll be going into half inch and come to the chest line and take my bust measurement divided by 4. Once that is done, I'm going to just get the armhole curve like this. Now I'm going to be marking the bust span. That's the nipple to nipple divided by 2. I'll mark that on the bust point line and also on the waistline and mark a straight line this way. So we didn't talk about the waistline. You can see the distance I have from my under bust to the waistline. Measuring from the shoulder, my actual waistline is 17 inches, but I have 18 here. And looking at the dress, you will see that it's not sitting exactly on your natural waistline. So you're going to add 1 to 2 inches to your natural waistline measurement. But I just added 1 inch. I'll be doing 0.75 on both sides of the bust span line on the waistline. Then coming to the under bust, I'll be doing 0.75 here and 1.25 coming to this side. And that will be a total of 2 inches under bust tightening for me. Now I'm going to extend the waist dart to the under bust tightening. And then I'll be curving from the under bust to the bust point on both sides like this. Once that is done, the next thing I'll be doing is to get my over bust line and I'll be going up from my bust point line to 3 inches. Once I have it, I'll now go ahead and use my ruler to just highlight it like this. And then I'm going to get the midpoint of this shoulder slope. I'll measure it this way, mark it, and then connect it to meet the bust span, just like this. The next thing we'll be doing now is to tighten the over bust, and I'll be using half inch on both sides here. Then I'll be coming here. I'll be coming out here 1 inch and go out here 1.25, and that will be a total of 2.25 on the shoulder. Do you understand that? Once that is done, I'm going to just connect it on both sides, just as you can see me do it. And doing it this way, you just tighten your chest line very well that it won't gape. Now I'm going to replace this 2.2. I'll start from this shoulder line and go out to that same 2.2. Once I have it, I'll be coming down to that same 1.5 I used to slope the shoulder earlier, and it's right here. The next thing I'll be doing now is to through these two lines, these two dot lines, I'm going to make sure that they are equal before sloping the shoulder again. Remember I said that we are just drafting the basic shoulder princess bustier. This is just how you go about it on a norm. Do you get? Now I'm going to connect the shoulder slope from this new line after throwing the dart legs, and it's like this. I'm going to be replacing the dart intake I have around here. I'll be adding that to my bust measurement. So I'll just go ahead and take my bust measurement again, and then from that point I'll be adding what I measured here, which is about half inch. And now you're going to place your curve like this and recurve the armhole if you're going for the basic shoulder princess bustier, but that's not what you're going for. I'm just trying to show you the concept. The next thing I'll be doing now is to extend the shoulder by 3 inches. I'll start from this point and go out 3 inches, which is like the whole of what I have here. Then I'll come down again to my 1.5 shoulder slope. Now I'm going to just slope the shoulder to this point, because if you're doing it to the first line that you have there, it's not going to look nice since we are not using the armhole that we have there. Now I'm going to measure the whole of what I have here on the shoulder, And once I have it, I'll go down to my chest line, which will double as my sleeve opening, and minus 1.5 from what I have on the shoulder, mark it there. So like I said, the chest line will double as my sleeve opening, but if you want, you can go down from your chest line more if you want it more free. Okay. And if I measure what I have here now, from my shoulder measurement to this slant line I have here, and measure what I have here, you see that I have about 1 inch to 1.5 shortage. Next, I'll go to the waistline and take the waist measurement divided by 4 plus the 1.5 that intake. I'll replace it, and then I'm going to connect it to the bust measurement, just like this. Once that is done, I'll be coming down to my bust dart value, which is 2 inches, because that's the difference between my front length and the back length. And I'm going to slant it to the bust band like this. And that's pretty much about it for this particular front pattern. We'll be cutting this out, and you'll be cutting it exactly how you see me do it here. First, I will open up the waist dart all the way to the bust point and then close the bust dart this way. Use my water glue to hold it down, and once that is done, I'm going now to just blend in the side with my curve as you see me do it here. And that's it. I'll just go ahead and cut out the rest of the pattern just where I'm supposed to cut out. And again, you can decide to throw your dart this way. After cutting the center front, you place it on the side and make sure that the darts are aligning before cutting it out, because you'll be joining that dart. Yeah, so while joining, they will align. After cutting it out, I'm now going to just join it like this from the under bust down. Make sure you're not overlapping this, and I taped it down with my masking tape this way. And then I'll be adding another paper down for the Basque effect. So I'm going to just use my water glue to just tape it down like this. And once that is done, I'm going now to start from the waistline and go down to 2.5. If you want it lower, go ahead and do more. Then I'm going to start from the waistline here. I'll go up 0.75. Yeah, once that is done, I'll come to this line here. From the under bust, I'll be coming down to 2.5. This is just like a guide to give us exactly that curve we have on the dress. Now I'm going to just curve it like this from the 0.75 I have on the side to the 2.5 I have from the under bust down on the bust span line, just like this. Like I said, that 2.5 will just serve as a guide for you to get a quite deep curve on that end. And then I'm going to use my curve, place it like this, and then blend in or just curve out the Basque effect. It's supposed to be a round shape and not V. Now I'm going to use my curve, place it like this, and highlight this curve again, which I said if you don't want to mark the 2.5, just make sure that your curve there is quite deep and not shallow. And that's it though. I'll just go ahead and cut out the rest of the pattern out. And please, that's why I say you should not overlap this part so that you will shorten your measurement where it's not necessary. Now for the back pattern, I already have the shoulder line and the waistline, and then I have the center back. On the shoulder line, I'm going to mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I'll be going down to the chest line. And again, on that point, I'll be marking my shoulder measurement divided by 2 and use my ruler to roll it out this way. Next, I'm going to be marking my 3 inches neck width, and then I'll be going down to 2 inches. You can do 1 inch if you want it higher, and I'll give it a round neckline this way. Next, I'll be coming down here to 1 inch for the shoulder slope, and I'm going to slant from that point to the neck width, just as you can see me do it here. The next thing I'll be doing now is to contour the center back, and I'll be coming in here to 0.75 and place my ruler like this and take it all the way to the shoulder line this way. Now I'm going to start from this line and take the bust measurement divided by 4. I'll come to the waistline and take the waist measurement divided by 4, and I'll be adding 1 inch for the dart allowance. So we'll be doing the dart later. I'll connect the two measurements this way, and then I'm going now to start from the center back contour line and mark my bust span and go up 6 inches as the dart length. Then start from the initial center back and measure to that bust span again and mark the exact thing I measured on this dart length, just so I can have a straight line to take the dart. Once that is done, I'm going to mark 0.5 on both sides, which is just the exact 1 inch I added as the dart allowance to the waist measurement. Now I'll bring in the center front and measure what I have here on the shoulder, which is about 1.2, and I'm going to just start from this neck width and mark the exact 1.2. That is so it will align while making your dress. Yeah. Then I'm going to just come out here to 1 inch. I usually use half inch for my shoulder dart, but I want to see what 1 inch would give me, and yeah, it worked. It was even more comfortable. Now I'm going to through these lines, and it's almost the same thing, but I'm just going to make sure that the shorter one is just as long as the long one. And once I have that, I'm now going to start from this shoulder and go out to that same 1 inch I used as the dart. So instead of marking 3 inches, I'll be marking 4 inches. Remember, we extended the shoulder on the front pattern by 3 inches. So I marked 4 inches here. The 1 inch is the dart intake we have on the shoulder. Now I'm going to measure the whole of what I have here all the way to that 4 inches here, from the center back all the way to that 4 inches. And once I have it, I'm going to come down to the chest line and minus 1.5 from what I have on that shoulder and mark there. So we didn't talk about this earlier. I use my chest line as my sleeve opening, but what you're supposed to do is once you measure this 3 inches extension on your arm, you measure the circumference of that point on your arm, and you're going to use that as your sleeve opening. So mine is about 6.5, but here I have about 7 inches, which would work. And because this is a bustier, I wanted it to fit as you see it on my body. I don't want it to lose around the bustier, and that's why I'm not extending. Like I'm not adding much allowance to the sleeve opening. If you want it to lose more loose, go ahead and go down 1 inch from your chest line and use that as your sleeve opening. But yeah, I want my bustier really fitted just as you see it on my body. And to be honest, it was just as fitted as I want it and as comfortable as I want it. Go ahead and follow your center back contour line and add your zipper allowance value. I use just 1 inch here because that works for me. Then I'll go ahead and cut out the rest of the pattern this way. So there are two things you can do about the sleeve opening. Either you don't slope the shoulder at all and maintain your chest line as your sleeve opening, or you go down 1 inch from your chest line as your sleeve opening. Either way, follow every other thing I shared in this video and it will give you the exact result you're looking for. So these are the all the patterns. You will be cutting this center front unfold, and then you'll be cutting two of these, two of the side back and two of the center back, and you'll be using same fabric to cut the center front and then the center back. Then you'll be using another fabric to cut the side front and then the side back. And these are the two Ankara fabrics that I used to make this dress. I use this red one for the center front and then the center back, then this green one as the side front and then the side back, then the extension we have on the skirt, that's the green. Okay, then the red one was the bigger fabric for the gathers, the one that will go from the waist all the way down, before the green that will go from the down to the hem of the skirt. I don't know if you understand. But then to cut it out, it's going to be, my waistline was 18 inches here, then the full length I'm working with is 60 inches, so it's going to be 60 minus 18, that would be 42. That's what you'll be cutting out as the skirt length. Do you understand? Then for the extension, I want mine to be 10 inches. You see that mine was really long. Yeah, just use your measurement. It's going to be the skirt length, which is 42 minus 10, and it's going to be 32. So the red one, I'll be cutting 32 length for the red one. Then the green one, I'll be cutting 10 inches as the length, but they are going to be the same width. And it's the width is going to be your waist circumference times 4. Do you understand that? So if you want it really full, it's going to be your waist circumference times 4. But I did my waist circumference times 3.5 because I used the lining to turn it inside out. No, not inside out. We'll get to that. So it's going to be 27 times 3.5, which will give me 94.5 plus your zipper allowance. So in total, I'll be cutting about 100 inches as the width for the gathers, same as the 10 inches I will cut on the green. So in the next video, we will be sewing all of this, and I hope I will see you on my next one. Be good. Bye.